Hello, I'm Alfie Lloyd-Perks, Assistant Editor at World Cement, and we're live from Envirotech 2026 here in London. Joining me today is one of our premium sponsors, Claudius Peters, to discuss how clinker cooler technology is evolving as cement plants adapt to new operational and environmental demands. I'm delighted to be joined by Kurt Herrmann, Managing Director of Claudius Peters. Kurt, welcome. It's great to have you with us today.
Hi, Alfie. Nice to be here with you here from World Cement.
So let's jump straight into it. Clinker coolers are now no longer just about cooling performance. How has their role evolved as plants focus more on efficiency, decarbonisation, and overall plant optimization?
Yes, the cooler technology, what's very important is, first of all, the availability, the thermal heat consumption saving, and what is more emphasized is the electrical power consumption. So in our latest iteration, we focused on the electrical power consumption savings as well.
Mm-hmm. And as producers place more emphasis on cutting carbon emissions, how significant is the role of clinker cooler in supporting overall plant decarbonisation?
Big heat is introduced into the clinker cooler, so we need to introduce a lot of cooling air into the system, which is electrical power hungry. Mm-hmm. So the least amount of air you can pump in with the lowest amount of pressure is helpful to the OPEX, the operation cost of the operators. So that's why we focused on evolving our cooler also in that direction, which was important.
And I know you've spoken about operational flexibility as a key theme in your presentation, and it struck me as something that's come up a lot across the industry. Why is this becoming such a critical requirement for modern clinker cooler systems?
The kiln system does throw a lot of different situations at the cooler. So you have kiln flushes, operational instabilities. So if your cooler can provide flexibility in terms of response, this can be very helpful. So our system is a so-called moving floor cooler. So we can separately operate the lanes. So if you have higher heat on one side of the cooler, you can operate that with different speeds to other areas with, let's say, faster speeds where the clinker is already a bit cooler. So that flexibility, which we have added to the equation, is helpful for the producers.
Yeah. And a slightly separate point, we're also seeing increased uses of alternative fuels across the industry. You know, while they help reduce emissions, they can also create challenges for downstream equipment like coolers. What operational issues are you seeing, and how can cooler design help address those?
Yeah, that was a very important feature of our latest design of our cooler, is to address this particular issue of alternative fuels. It tends to come from fluff, which generates some kind of steel rods, which can actually damage cooler grates. And so our cooler grate and the sealing has been designed to be able to deal with those particular issues occurring in the cooler, as you said, downstream. And we've looked into that, and it's important that our design is robust to deal with it.
Yeah. And just to finish off, looking out over the next decade, how do you see clinker cooler technology evolving to meet the changing needs of cement plants?
Well, obviously, being at your exhibition here, people are talking here a lot about CO2 reduction, and there are different technologies in the market. So our cooler will have to meet those particular requirements. That would then require, again, additional design changes, like using different steel materials, or in certain areas of the cooler, separation of air flows. So we're ready for that next step. But at the moment today, the latest iteration is fine to meet all the requirements.
Yes.
The oxy-fuel, whatever technology is still in a testing phase, but we're ready to then provide our next iteration of cooler designs for that new challenge.
Fab. Kurt, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you to Claudius Peters again for sponsoring as a premium sponsor for Envirotech 2026.
Thank you, Alfie. It's good to be here. A great environment to be part of the conversation.